What the f?
All right, so forgive the wind noise. I'm gonna step in my shop here where we shouldn't be hearing the wind. Beautiful breeze today up here at my shop. And this is not my white Allante that I've had for years and years, which was also a flood car. This is another flood Allante. This is the third flood Allante I've bought. The black one didn't go so well. Engine's still locked up. I've just got it soaking until I decide to either part it out, scrap it, or I don't know what. But my white one years and years ago, that one I was able to resurrect with no issue, and it's been on the road ever since, giving me zero issues. But that was a freshwater flood car. This was a saltwater flood car, as was the black one that I didn't have as much luck with. Now, I think on this one, and I haven't looked at it yet, you can see it's in my shop. It didn't drive into here. I had it delivered, and the delivery driver was kind enough to help me push it in here. But because I want to get my real reaction from looking at this, that what I see, I did not look at it any more than I had to. I haven't seen how bad the interior is. I haven't seen anything more than I could have seen from the pictures on Copart. So without further ado, let me walk in and we'll take a look at it together for the first time. So I can see the top is torn here. I didn't see this. It looks like there was a piece of tape there. It might have came off. I'm guessing this is probably the original top. And I say that because this has 21,000 actual Carfax verified miles. 21,000 mile Allante. Pretty excited about that. Now, obviously, these cars were toys for most people. It's not like the vast majority have 200,000 miles and they've all been driven into the ground. They're toy cars for people. Usually the mileage is kept down, but 21,000, definitely much lower than what you normally see. I'm also seeing, I have the same problem at my house with my cats that sleep on top of my convertibles and the cars I keep outside. So I don't know if the delivery guy has a cat or if this happened before the car was flooded, but a cat has been sleeping on that roof. Maybe a Florida Panther. You can see the water line there on the door. That's what Copart estimated the water height to have been. And usually what happens, and hopefully was the case with this car, is the water inside ends up not being as high as on the outside because you have your door seals. Being that this is a 20,000 mile car, I'm hoping that the rubber was in pretty good shape, and it appears to be. So this is like my first real look in here. I don't see any mold yet, which is good. Let me see if I see. You can tell, all right, it looks to me like the water, these seats have problems independent of being flooded where that gets jammed up. You see all this schmutz everywhere, like leaves and stuff? That usually doesn't just get there by itself. That probably came in from water. So it would seem that the water was probably the height that's marked on the outside door. I'll check a few more things in a moment that will tell me for sure. I'm not horribly worried about this car if it ends up being a dud like the black Flood Allante and the engine's locked up solid, because this has a lot of part value to me. For one, it has the very, very rare, unfortunately very, very pitted, I just see that now for the first time. Oh, that's a bummer. Chrome wheels. These are the Allante factory wheels, which 99% of them were alloy. Very rare to find them in chrome, but again, unfortunately these ones have seen better days. That may have happened from the flood, being that it was salt water and these weren't cleaned off afterwards. It's now been over a month since the hurricane. However, the tires, at least here in the back, 2019 date code. What brand do we have here? I don't know, some weird brand, but I thought it said Salsa Plus. They do have good tread. They are recent enough. I don't see any cracking, both on the sidewalls and in the tread. So at least there's some value there to me, being that I have so many cars that use this tire size. I was buying this car, one of the reasons I really wanted to buy it was the wheels and tires, but now again, seeing the wheels unfortunately have quite a bit of pitting, I'm not sure if I'll end up keeping them. I don't really know. There's nothing that can be done about that, unfortunately. They're just kind of ruined. Can't see that in Copart's pictures. They're usually pretty good about making sure you don't see too much. The pictures are not that high detail. But there's a lot of other good parts in this vehicle. For one, the headlights, as long as they didn't get water and sand in them, which they don't appear to have gotten any in, they have value to me. The lenses are in good shape, and what happens to these headlights is when the seal fails of the lenses, the reflective material gets pitted, and then you can't see a damn thing. That's what happened to Randy with his Allante. The water got in those headlights, ruined the reflective material in there, and they basically projected no light. You can see the Cadillac crest here in phenomenal shape because it's a low mileage car, which I imagine for most of its life was kept indoors to be in this kind of shape. Looks like the body is a beautiful shape, original paint as far as I can tell so far. You know, there's an area here where the paint, it looks like the clear coat failed there, and it's just the base paint you're seeing underneath it. But again, unfortunately, all four wheels not in the best of shape. But while I do like the wheels and was hoping they would not be pitted, I'm kind of surprised they're that bad. Oh, wait a minute, is this our water line? Yeah, all right. That's a clear as day water line, and I can see it here as well. And that makes me feel really good because that's not that high. It's actually lower than what they had on the exterior of the vehicle. And being that you can see this area here is outside of the seal, the water on the outside was this height. And it does appear that the water on the inside was the same. So it does happen, but that's not that high at all. That's below the dashboard, for example. So I don't have to pull the dashboard if I decide to get this car back on the road, which of course is my plan. And the seats, for example, I only need to pull out the bottom cushion. You can see there's a little bit of mold here now. No big deal. I meant to bring some vinegar with me to clean the mold. I totally forgot. Yeah, you can see the water line here too. So the seat motors got wet, but the switches were only partially submerged. So pretty low flood line, which to me tells me that there's not going to be any water in the engine. There could be some in the transmission. Take a look at all that momentarily. But there is other part value in this car. I'm not seeing it as a parts car already because of how low the water actually was. You can even see the remnant of the water line here. So, sorry, I'm filming my iPad. That's why it's kind of close zoomed. But there is a lot of other part value in this car to me if I did decide to part it out. For one, the seats. The leather is a lot more supple. I could tell even from the pictures. They're in better shape than the seats that are in my white exterior, red interior Allante. All this stuff in my car is just aged and kind of falling apart. This stuff is all in 20,000 mile condition. You can even see the water line here, that there was some water in the center console. The fuses probably narrowly avoided water. The fuses are underneath here, or maybe they did just barely get water. I'll be able to tell you right now. But it looks really clean, and I'm thinking because of all the schmutz, which the schmutz in here is actually higher than the water was. So that is maybe someone left the top down under a tree and a bunch of stuff got in. But when you see all this crap in the water, that usually means that it was more of an inland flood. You even got a spider egg. You don't see that as much with a beach flooded car. And if it was more of an inland flood, then typically what that means is the water's not going to be as salty. So again, more good news there. Tracing that water line back to the trunk now. I imagine we probably do have a little bit of water in the trunk, but it will just be at the bottom where the spare tire is. Oh, okay, the trunk's locked, just pull down motor shot, not a big deal. Okay, another thing, when I say part value to me, if I were to do a part out, which I don't see that happening anymore, I keep saying that now that I confirm that the water line was low. Copart's been totally off before on water lines. Matter of fact, on the black Allante I bought, they said the water line was like here, and in actuality that car was completely underwater. And I don't necessarily blame them for that. They just have their lot boys who are not insurance adjusters or flood experts or anything like that. They just take a look at the car and take a guess based off what they see. Taillights are in very good condition. You can see there's some minor cracking in this lens. Really not any in this lens. It's just dirt. These are in better shape than 99% of Allante taillights. They always crack. On my white Allante, the taillights are pretty cracked and just aged. These look excellent. So again, those had value to me from a parts sense. The interior, the dashboard. You see how these sides here are flat. They usually curl from the sun, like mine has done. This dashboard has not seen that much sun. My steering wheel is all dried out. The leather's all cracked on my steering wheel. This one in pretty much perfect condition. The center stack, you got a little bit of bleeding on the radio screen, but the other two screens are in good shape. And the digital dash works. It was showing operative in the Copart pictures. So there's a lot of stuff in here that has value to me. Now what I paid for this car, I won the bid at $500, and out the door it was $803. Then I had to ship it here to my shop for a couple hundred more. Car came out of Tampa because again it was from Hurricane Idalia, which affected the Panhandle area, and the nearest Copart is Tampa. So I'm into this car for $1,000 for a 20,000 mile Allante, which again, not perfect. We can already see that with the wheels. It's a shame. I can clean up that corrosion, but they're always going to look imperfect. You guys let me know if there's any solution that you can think of. I don't want to lose the chrome. Matter of fact, there's even in the chrome itself. So these wheels, unfortunately, they'll look good from a few feet away, but up close, they're not going to look good. And it's a shame because a clean set of these wheels is worth way more than I paid for the car. I don't know. I might just rock them. Maybe on this car, I'll put my alloys off my other Allante that are in perfect shape. Put these on my 80,000 mile Allante. Because being that this car is 20,000 miles, assuming and hoping that I get it running, and I want to keep it on the road, I want this car to be like a 20,000 mile show car. And my other Allante, the 80,000 mile, will be my driver. Front tires are the... All right, so it's matching tires all around. So I'm assuming the same date code will be on this. Yep, 19. Also same tread. So I've got a new set of tires, basically new set all around. So that's good. Let me pop the hood. We'll take a look at what's going on. That's the most important thing to see. Copart did not start it. Sometimes they do that with the flood cars. They just don't even try. Or maybe the starter is maybe the starter's gone bad from the water. Maybe they just didn't have enough juice in the battery, even with their booster pack. So we'll see. Last year that were multiple cars that I've bought in the past year that were flooded, I threw a battery at them and they fired right up after I changed the oil. And Copart said they didn't run. So I'm hoping that will be the case here. All right. So first look together. Now again, I saw pictures on Copart, but I haven't personally looked under the hood. Now that I've received the car. And here we go. A lot of those leaves again. I think this car spent some time recently outside. Maybe after the storm it was pushed outside. Just can't imagine someone owning a 20,000 mile Allante keeping it parked outside like a beater. It's possible. I don't see that necessarily based on the condition of the paint. These cars, the paint did not hold up well in these cars. And as far as I can tell, I don't see any evidence of a repaint. Especially this is a hard color to paint and match to what it originally looked like. So, all right, the big question everybody's wondering about, myself included, the oil. And it just looks like dirty oil. Right in the hash where it should be. That's a good start. Again, I'm going to change it anyway, but certainly better than seeing the milkshake on this dipstick. Again, we know the water wasn't anywhere close to this height. Now, you could say, well, Al, what if the car was parked like this? But the water line inside the car would reflect that. It would be more like this. And it was a straight line. So we're in Florida. We don't have any hills here. Not going to see much through there, but I don't see any sticks or sand or anything, just looking into the valve cover. There's our oil filter right there. Again, I've already got all that stuff, picked it up on the way here, so I'm going to do an oil change here in a moment. And here is one of the bad things about the Cadillac Allante, the Bosch ABS system. These are notorious for having issues. Usually you can tell if it's been rebuilt, it'll have some sort of sticker on it. But being that this car is 20,000 miles, it's probably the original. And what happens is the ABS just has all kinds of issues, and you could actually just lose your brakes flat out. It's not like in modern cars, or if you have an ABS issue, you still have your brakes just without ABS. With this car, it all needs to work. or you don't have brakes sometimes, or your pedal will be really hard to push. Transmission fluid, thank God, it looks really good. Now, there's always a possibility that some water may have gotten in, but it has to be such an insignificant amount for the dipstick to look like that. For one, the level is right where it should be. The color, I mean, I'm going to take the chance here. Smells right, doesn't smell like the ocean. That water did not get into this transmission. It happens a lot more than you think that it doesn't get in, even if it's a breather style transmission, which many GMs are, just because the little breather vents always get clogged with time and age and all the, oil sediment buildup underneath the car from oil leaks. They get clogged. I'm going to take the same guess here and say that we got no water in the transmission. That's great news. It means I can just do an oil change and throw power to this thing. Now, it's certainly possible that the starter is going to be locked up on this, and these starters are not available at parts stores. They are proprietary, nice green coolant, proprietary to the Allante. They're Japanese-made starters that were made solely for 4.5 and probably 4.1 Allantes. So if I need a starter, I'm not as talented as Randy at Auto Auction Rebuilds. I keep mentioning Randy because he bought a flood Allante, and we worked on that car together at my house last year, right around this time actually. And he was able to essentially rebuild the starter at my house, just take it apart, clean it up, throw it back together. Could probably do it, but I think I'd be more inclined to just order one. It's not urgent. For him, it was urgent. He had to get in that car the next day and drive it back to Oklahoma. For me, not urgent at all. I would probably just get one on eBay and wait for it to come in. But, of course, I'll try a hammer on it first if the starter is not working. And maybe if I suspect... Right. Oh. I don't think that drain plug's been cracked in a while. 20,000 mile car. Probably hasn't had that many oil changes in its life. I could check the sticker on the windshield last time it was done. Forgot my gloves. It'll be fun. I'd rather it be oil over my hands than water, because if it's water, I got problems. I don't think it's going to be the case, though. The dipstick usually doesn't lie. 1, 2, 3. No, it's oil. Whew. That's good, because I would have been a little more concerned if some water came out. Might have wanted to flush a little more oil through the crankcase before starting it. So, all right, I'm going to let her drain. And top her off with fresh oil, new filter, throw power on it. So hope she starts right up, because I got to get out of here soon. All right, forgive the camera angle. I've got the iPad propped up in the back, and I'm putting power on this battery. I do have another battery with me. I have my booster pack. We'll try that first. Be nice if this battery is salvageable. It does seem like the terminals are a little bit loose. Allantes are infamous for their battery drain issues. So, and there's even a pair of pliers back here that somebody was probably using to disconnect the battery. I just snugged those up. Gonna throw the booster. These side post batteries, they're tough to put power to through a jumper pack. They don't get a good connection like you do with a top post. So that could very well be the reason this wouldn't start for Copart, or maybe even for me. See, I already lost the ground. Popped right off. And I do have another battery that's charged, like I said. All right, we got noises. We got noises. All kinds of noises. I've still got her up. The ramps are backwards because it's the only way I can get them underneath the car, because I have to put the jack in the back here, like you can see. So first, oops, you didn't see that. All kinds of noises going on. Check out that odometer, 21,000 miles. Remove ignition key. Maybe it's anti-theft? wait 3 minutes. Might be an anti-theft thing. All right, well, we'll wait 3 minutes. While we wait, could that be why they couldn't get this to start? I would think so, because again, it wasn't flooded deep enough to have electrical problems, in my opinion. Something's making a weird noise. Oh, it's a pull down. All right, there we go, before that thing overheats. I'm going to open the top. It's a two-hand operation. So I actually have an early, this is a really weird Allante from my experience, because it's got a, so 1990 was a pretty big year for the Allante, where some things changed. For one, you got an airbag steering wheel instead of the older style steering wheel. And another thing, which, what's the build date on this car? 12 of 89. Okay, so this is an early 90. It's got an airbag wheel, but it has the manual latching top, which the later cars with the electronically latching top are actually more desirable. You can see right here. I really don't have a personal preference. Either way, the convertible top system is just ridiculously overcomplicated in this car. But I thought this was a later car, but it's an earlier car because of the steering wheel. Usually if it's got the older wheel, you got a manual top. Now what's good about having this style top is the 87s through early 90s all came with hard tops. And then 90 and a half to 93, it was an option, and most people didn't get it. So there's plenty of early hard tops out there. They're pretty cheap, like $300-400 when you find one, and it will fit on an earlier car. But if you have a 90 and a half, a 91, 92, 93, it will not fit without a lot of customization. And so later tops, like the one on my black 92, that's also a flood car worth thousands of dollars because there's very few out there. So, I guess now I've got the best. Now I've got both. My other 90 is a has the electronic latches. This has the manual. A little bit of variety. So let me go ahead, like I said, two-hand job, get this top down, get some fresh air in this thing. It doesn't smell horrible, but again, there is a little bit of mold, and there's no reason to be sitting in here cocooned up when I can put the windows down. All right, so I've got the top down. Met the wait 3 minutes message. I wasn't paying attention. I was focused on the top. And then when I put the key back in to start it, I got the same anti-theft warning, wait 3 minutes. So I just kind of started over. I'm going to pay attention this time because maybe you have to start it right after that 3 minutes. And if you wait too long, now it says wait 2 minutes. All right, that's good. So I got the top down, as you can see. Everything works fine. No, okay, I didn't have that latched all the way. I knew something didn't look right, but you can see this slides back after you unlatch the top here. You pull up the back of the top, you pop it down. I actually prefer this more than the electronic latching in my 90 and a half, and mine doesn't slide back like this, the cover in the later car. Now I've had earlier Allantes before. I don't remember the covers doing this though, but then again, it was so many years ago. And I've had the later style for several years now only, so maybe they did. Start car. Nothing. I have a feeling our starter will be the culprit. And there goes my timer. All right, let me go give that starter a few whacks. I just want to see if we got another anti-theft. Nope, so anti-theft's not our issue now. All right, let me go whack the starter. All right, so as I was hitting the starter, there's sand or dirt, something coming out of it. I whacked on it a bit, didn't go too crazy yet. I don't want to beat it up too bad. We'll see if that did the trick. If not, I'll try some more. Damn it. You can see that's our starter. Can you? Yeah, right there. I don't know if you guys can see all the crap falling out of that starter. It's funny because it doesn't look that sandy of a flood on this car, by the way. You can see, or you can't see, pretty clean undercarriage. All right, let me keep whacking the starter. Got a bunch of sand in my eyes. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have any luck with this starter. I think it's probably locked up solid, and unfortunately, I have to go soon. I got to be somewhere. It's time sensitive, so I'm going to have to give up here. I'm going to try a couple more times just for good measure, and then I'm going to have to give up. Oh, let's see something. Hey, that's good. Nice. Love to see if the windows work. And the glove box isn't falling apart. There's a wheel lock, owner's manual. Excellent. All right, let me go wail on that a few more times real hard, because if that doesn't do it, I'm going to order a starter. All right, folks, cross your fingers. Last try of the day. Damn it! Just for craps and giggles. Park, reverse. Park, reverse, neutral. No. All right. Oh, system fault. What was the fault? Good morning. You're a little off there, my friend. Right park lamp out. Change engine oil. We did that. Oh, okay. That's it. July 8th. Not quite. These radios always have problems in these cars. Oh, the antenna. Oh, power antenna didn't come up. That's my problem. Tape's kind of stuck in limbo there. Come on. All right, well. No dice, guys, on the starter, unfortunately. Oh, we were so close to having her running today, too, but got to get moving. I think I showed you guys last time. Here's the starter. I'm changing it out. I think that's the problem, logically. There's my replacement. I happen to have a spare. Moment of truth.